Hi everybody, this is Matt. Thanks for watching and welcome back. Let's talk about nicotine and caffeine as it affects shaky hands when it comes to what? Shooting a pistol. Now for those of you that are new to the channel, I've done several videos in the past regarding how to deal with shaky hands when you're shooting a pistol. All you have to do is go to the little search bubble up there and type in shaky hands, and you'll see several videos about that. And I really had to deal with it after I fought a battle with cancer. So for those of you that are been with me on the channel for a long time, I don't believe that I have ever addressed cigarette smoking or caffeine when it comes to shaky hands. So let's talk about caffeine first. Now, if you're like me, you like to start the morning out with a big cup of coffee. I know that I do. But I also, for most of my life, enjoyed drinking pop. Now, I know that in different parts of the country, some people call it soda. Some people call it soda pop. Well, where I grew up, in these parts, it was called pop. So there you have it. It's called pop. Well, one day I was going to the range and I drank a big thing of pop. And when I get to the range, guess what? The old sights and the laser, were basically doing this, and I knew that it was from drinking that sugar and drinking all of the caffeine. And depending upon what kind of pop it is, it can have a lot of caffeine in it. And if you drink energy drinks, that can have even more caffeine, which, guess what? Makes you jittery, makes your hands shake a lot. So one day I just got tired of it, and I'm like, you know what, this kind of defeats the purpose, and it's kind of silly, and besides, my body really doesn't need this, so I quit. And then I got an unexpected side benefit from it where my blood pressure actually went down a few points. Not that I'm complaining, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not, but it's like, okay, wow, did not expect that one. That's kind of weird, but all right, I'll take it. So then let's talk about cigarette smoking. Now, for many of you young people, you have never touched a cigarette. And for many of you young people, you go, smoking cigarettes? Ew, why would you want to do that? Well, let me tell you what, for people in my age bracket and above, cigarette smoking was a fact of life. Many of us grew up where everybody in the household smoked cigarettes. And practically every television show that we saw on TV, people were what? Smoking cigarettes. It was a widely socially acceptable thing. And a lot of the health problems dealing with cigarettes wasn't really known very widely. It wasn't published very widely at the time. So it's just one of those things. It is a nasty habit, it is a costly habit, and it is an unhealthy habit. But you smoke cigarettes, guess what? You take that first drag and you smoke that first cigarette, guess what happens? Your blood pressure goes up, your heart rate goes up. Then your arteries and your veins constrict because you just consumed nicotine and Lord only knows how many other thousands of chemicals that they put in cigarettes to make them very, very addictive. And many of you who have smoked cigarettes, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because I am a former cigarette smoker myself. Your hands feel a bit colder. Your feet might feel a little bit colder, especially in the wintertime. Well, why is that? That's because of something called vasoconstriction, meaning that your veins and your arteries are closing down in response to the nicotine and the other chemicals and the chemical reactions going on in your body when it comes to smoking cigarettes. But with all that said, when you go to the range, guess what? You're not able to hold everything steady like this because you've got all that nicotine running around inside of your body. So let's talk about that for those of you that smoke. Now, I'm a former smoker, and I know your pain if you're still smoking, if you have tried to quit. I understand. I've been there, done that. And I definitely understand the lies that we tell ourselves when we're going to cut back and when we tell ourselves that we're going to quit, right? So instead of having a cigarette when you hop out of bed in the morning or you're going to work, you're like, I will wait until my lunch hour. And that's when I'll have my first cigarette. It'll be tough, but I can do it. And you'll be jonesing for a cigarette that whole morning, and then you'll smoke a lot of cigarettes during your lunch break. And then you go on to say, okay, I'm going to wait until after I get off work at 5 o'clock. I'm not going to smoke until then. Well, guess what? From 5 o'clock until the time that you go to bed, you smoke just the same amount of cigarettes as you would have during the entire day, because those are the lies that we tell ourselves. So what worked for me? It wasn't fancy gums. It wasn't the nicotine patches. It wasn't anything like that. It was just simply me making up my mind and saying, hey, Matt, this is stupid. Just stop. And I quit cold turkey. Now, was it easy? No, absolutely not. Cigarettes are an extremely addictive thing. But after, say, the first 48 to 72 hours, then it smoothed out. It got a lot easier because you're really going through nicotine withdrawal in that 48 to 72 hour time frame. After about 72 hours, I believe that is when the nicotine is out of your system, but then you have to deal with the psychological things that you were dealing with, the habits that you built up that made cigarette smoking comfortable to you or habitual to you, like hopping in the car, going for a drive, like stepping outside, going for a walk, or stepping outside, having a seat, just, watching people go down the road or whatever. All kinds of psychological triggers for that, and those things you're going to have to deal with. But you can stop smoking cigarettes. And the other side benefit is your blood pressure is not going to be doing these wild swings up and down and up and down, and you're going to save a lot of money. In my state of Iowa, we have what's called a sin tax, and I believe that tax is somewhere around $1, might even be higher than that, per pack of cigarettes. So you can save yourself a significant chunk of change depending upon how much you smoke. So good health benefits, you're going to be able to shoot steadier. You're going to be able to actually breathe where you can take a breath and not be coughing up a lung. And your taste buds will revive. Food will taste different. It'll taste better to you. And it just makes life a lot better. So anyway, just thought I would share that with you. Some food for thought. And for those of you who struggle with quitting, if you need somebody to talk to about it, send me a message. You know how to get a hold of me. So anyway, nicotine and caffeine equals sometimes shaky hands. If you can cut those down or cut them out completely, it's going to help you. So anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate you watching all of my videos. And until next time, everybody have a good one and be safe out there.